You cooked, cleaned, and paid my bills. Wow, congrats on doing the bare minimum. My next man will do that and spoil me, she said, so I left. Now she's crying online about low-value men. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I used to think that loving someone meant carrying their weight when they were down. That if you believed in them enough, gave them time and support, they'd grow into the person you knew they could be. That's what I did for Qley. We met at a mutual friend's game night. She was funny, gorgeous, loud in a way that made people lean in. I was more of a quiet observer type, the kind of guy who listens before speaking. But for some reason, she took an interest in me. Said I had main character energy in disguise. I thought that meant she saw something deep in me. I didn't realize she was just assigning me a supporting role in her own drama. When we started dating, Qley was between jobs. She'd just quit retail to focus on growing her online presence. I didn't mind. I had a good job in software engineering, and she swore it was temporary. I just need a few months to monetize, she said. You'll see. I'm gonna build something real. I believed her. So I covered rent. I bought groceries. I cooked. I cleaned. I added her to my Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon accounts. I even helped her buy a ring light, a mic, and one of those adjustable phone tripods she said was non-negotiable for success. I didn't expect her to repay me with money. I just wanted her to care as much as I did. For a while, things were okay. But looking back, okay meant I worked 9 to 10 hours a day and then came home to chaos. Clothes on the floor, dirty dishes in the sink. Qley filming herself dancing in the living room to some sped-up remix with captions like, "Baddie energy, only nail polished." The first few months, I gave her grace. But it got harder to ignore how little she contributed. She stopped cooking completely, claimed she couldn't risk breaking a nail while chopping onions. When I asked her to help out with laundry, she laughed and said, "You're better at it. You actually fold stuff. I just throw it all in a chair." At first, I brushed it off. But there's only so many times you can come home to empty takeout containers and dirty countertops before you start to feel like a background character in your own life. The real shift came when I suggested she get a part-time job to take some pressure off me. Nothing crazy, even remote work, a few hours a week. She scrunched her nose like I asked her to lick a toilet seat. A real man doesn't ask his girl to work. He handles it. Then, with a smirk, "You should want to take care of me. If not, I'll find someone who will." I didn't respond. Not because I agreed, but because something in me clicked. A quiet awareness. I wasn't her partner. I was her resource. She kept escalating from there. She'd scroll through TikTok and show me clips of guys buying their girlfriends' cars or flying them to Mexico for a random Tuesday. Look what he did for her. He rented out an entire restaurant just to apologize for making her cry. Then she'd glance at the dinner I made. Pasta and chicken with roasted vegetables. Not saying you're not trying, just saying you're not inspiring anyone either. It wasn't that I needed praise. But after 2 years of carrying the relationship, I wasn't expecting to be criticized for not being flashy enough. And then came the night everything broke. Our mutual friend Sean threw a chill little party at his apartment. Maybe a dozen people, snacks, music, nothing wild. I'd worked late, but still showed up, carrying wine and a homemade spinach artichoke dip because Qley said it would be embarrassing to come empty-handed. While she floated around telling people about her brand deals, none of which had actually paid her, I stayed behind, making small talk and helping clean up plates as the night wound down. That's when someone, I think it was Sean's girlfriend, complimented me. "You're such a good guy, honestly." Qley's lucky. Cooking, working full-time, holding it all down. Most guys wouldn't. I smiled awkwardly. I wasn't looking for praise, but it felt nice to be seen. Then I heard Qley's voice cut through the room like a knife. "He cooked and paid the bills? Wow, congrats on doing the bare minimum." She was smiling. "My next man will do that and spoil me." The room went quiet. Even the music seemed to pause. I didn't say a word. Just stared at her as she laughed and sipped her wine like she'd just delivered the punchline of the century. In that moment, something inside me didn't break, it disconnected. I'd given everything to someone who saw me as a placeholder until someone richer, flashier, more willing to grovel came along. And that's when I knew. This wasn't a rough patch. This was who she really was. After the party, I didn't yell. I didn't start a fight. I didn't say a word on the ride home. Qley kept checking her phone, giggling at some meme, acting like nothing had happened. I remember watching her in the passenger seat and feeling absolutely nothing. That was the scariest part. Not rage, not heartbreak, just silence and the slow realization that I was completely done. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I made my coffee, packed my gym bag, and headed to work like I always did. I didn't kiss her goodbye. I didn't even say her name. I think that's when she started to sense it, that something was different. She texted me around noon. "Qley, you okay? You were really quiet last night." Me, "Yeah, just thinking about some things." "Qley, you're not mad about what I said at the party, are you?" Faced with rolling eyes, it was just a joke. Me, "Got it." I didn't elaborate. I didn't feed her ego. I gave her nothing to push against. And for someone like Qley, silence is more terrifying than shouting. Over the next few days, I pulled back from everything. No more grocery runs. No more takeout orders on her whim. I stopped making dinner. I came home late, went straight to the shower, ate alone. She tried to provoke me once. Waved her phone in front of me showing some TikTok guy surprising his girlfriend with a Cartier bracelet. See, now that's a real man. His girl doesn't even have to ask. He just does it. I just nodded and said, "Cool," and kept scrolling through Zillow on my phone. A week later, I gave 30 days notice to our landlord. The lease was in my name. So was the rent. She never even knew how much it cost, just that the money came from somewhere. I started packing slowly, one drawer at a time. On night 3, she finally snapped. "What the hell are you doing?" she asked, arms crossed as I folded shirts into a box. "Moving," I said plainly. "Moving? You're seriously moving out?" Because I said the bare minimum thing. "No," I said, sealing the box with tape. "Because you meant it." She stared at me like I was speaking a different language. "Oh my God, are you actually this soft?" "It was a joke, dude. You're really leaving because your feelings got hurt." "No, I'm leaving because I finally believe you." That shut her up for a second. "Believe what?" "That I was never a partner to you. Just a placeholder until you found someone who fit your fantasy." "You're twisting it." "I was just saying I deserve more." "Why is that a crime?" "It's not a crime. It's just not my problem anymore." She blinked fast, like her brain was buffering. I don't think she expected me to follow through. Qley was used to making messes and watching other people clean them up. "So what? You're just gonna leave me with nowhere to go?" she snapped. "You've got friends. You've got options, remember? Don't pull that petty 'I'm too good for you' crap now," she said, voice rising. "You're just mad I told the truth." I stood up and looked her dead in the eye. "No, Qley, I'm not mad. That would require me caring." Then I walked past her, grabbed another box, and left the room. The next few weeks were quiet. I kept the peace. Didn't provoke. Didn't respond when she tried to bait me into arguments or guilt trips. Just kept packing and preparing. She'd cycle through moods, sarcastic and smug one day, weepy and nostalgic the next. "You're really gonna throw away 2 years over one comment? You're not even trying to talk this out. You're making a mistake. No one's gonna do for you what I did. You'll regret this. Watch." I didn't respond to most of it. What was there to say? The night I moved out, I handed her a printed copy of the 30-day notice with her name removed. I had already paid the final month of rent. The landlord knew she'd need to reapply or vacate. She stood in the doorway, arms folded, doing her usual wide-eyed stare. "So you're really gone, huh?" "Yeah. You didn't even fight for us. Because you made it clear there was nothing worth fighting for." She didn't cry. Not yet. I think she still thought I'd come back once I cooled off. I didn't. She moved in with her friend Alicia 2 days later. Told everyone it was temporary. Said I was having a mental breakdown and that she left me for her own peace. I didn't argue. I didn't correct her. Because while she was still performing for Instagram stories and private DMs, I was finally building a life offline. A life without her. I didn't hear from Qley for the first couple of weeks after I moved out. Not directly, anyway, but mutual friends? That's where the trickle started. Apparently, she was telling people I abandoned her without warning, that I was emotionally unstable and had control issues, which was laughable coming from the same woman who once threw a wine glass at the wall because I bought the wrong flavor of hummus. But I stayed quiet. No rebuttals. No messages. No clapbacks. Just silence. Because silence doesn't need defending. What I did here from the people who actually knew me, was that things weren't going so great in Kayla's little post-breakup soft life. She moved in with her friend Alicia, like she'd planned, claimed it would only be for a couple weeks, while she found something better. 6 weeks later, she was still there, sleeping on Alicia's couch, hogging the bathroom for makeup tutorials, and somehow still not contributing to rent. Alicia vented to my friend Sean after a mutual hangout. She just doesn't do anything. She's always on her phone. She said she was applying to brand deals, but she hasn't opened her laptop in days. I didn't ask for these updates, but they came anyway, unprompted. The truth has a way of leaking through cracks when people are tired of holding it in. A month in, I got the first DM from Qley. Kayla, hey, just wanted to say sorry if I came off wrong before. I was under a lot of stress, and I said some things I didn't mean. Hope you're doing okay. I left it on read. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because there was nothing left to say. She had made herself loud and clear, and now she could sit with the silence she once mocked. Over the next few weeks, the messages kept coming. I've been thinking a lot lately. About us. It's crazy how quiet everything feels now. Remember that night you made that mushroom risotto and we stayed in watching that dumb shark movie? I really missed that. I said nothing. The shift was so slow, so gradual, I almost missed it. The way she went from dismissive to nostalgic, from smug to sad, from distant to desperate. Then came the attempt at pity. Not that it's your problem anymore, but things haven't been easy. I'm trying to get back on my feet, but nothing's clicking lately. Still, I said nothing. Then came the fake confidence. Whatever. You probably moved on already. You probably think you're too good for me now. Still no response. And then, finally, the bitterness. You're just bitter. That's why you won't talk to me. You know I was right. You were the bare minimum. You were just lucky I even stayed as long as I did. That one made me laugh. Not because it hurt, but because it was such a naked, pitiful attempt to regain control. To get a reaction. But I didn't give her one. By that point, she'd already been couch hopping again. Alicia finally kicked her out after catching her trying to live stream while Alicia's kid was asleep in the next room. Another friend took her in. That lasted 3 weeks. Apparently Kayla borrowed her makeup and filmed in her bedroom without asking. At one point, she tried to move in with a guy she had flirted with while we were still together. A wannabe club promoter with a leased BMW and no headboard. He ghosted her after 2 weeks. Didn't even give her a reason. Just stopped responding and blocked her on everything. Every time I heard one of these updates, I didn't feel smug. I just felt nothing. Because what I'd learned in the months since leaving wasn't just how to cook for one, or sleep alone, or decorate a quiet apartment. It was how to live without the weight of someone who made me feel like I was never enough. And the less I carried, the lighter everything became. By month 4, she tried calling. I blocked her number. She made a new one. I blocked that too. She messaged me on Venmo with a hey and a $1 request. I declined it. She emailed me with the subject line, "Can we please just talk like adults?" I archived it. I thought about changing my number, but I didn't. I wanted her to know I saw it. I wanted her to know she was being ignored. Because that's the kind of power she never understood, the kind that doesn't have to announce itself. 6 months after I left, I got invited to a housewarming party. Alicia's. Yeah, that Alicia. The same friend Kayla had been mooching off after our breakup. Apparently, they hadn't spoken in months. Alicia made it very clear that Qley wasn't invited. I almost didn't go. I was still playing it low-key, keeping things quiet. But Alicia insisted. "You should come," she said. "Bring whoever you're seeing. Everyone would love to see you again." So I did. I brought Haley, someone I'd met at work a couple months earlier. She was the complete opposite of Qley. Thoughtful, low maintenance, funny in the way that didn't beg for attention. She asked questions and actually listened to the answers. When we arrived at the party, it felt surreal. People were warm. They hugged me, said I looked good. One guy actually laughed and said, "Dude, you look 10 pounds lighter and 20 pounds freer." I smiled. It was true. About an hour in, things were good. Haley was getting along with everyone. I was sipping something cold and laughing at some story Alicia was telling when the front door opened. And there she was, Qley, wearing sunglasses inside, like it was still 2020, dressed like she was auditioning for a reboot of Euphoria. Hair done, makeup layered on like war paint, and absolutely no invitation in hand. The room went silent in that tight, awkward way that only happens when someone crashes a party everyone knows they shouldn't be at. Alicia just stared at her. "You weren't invited," she said flatly. "I just wanted to talk," Kayla said, eyes flicking over to me. People were whispering. Someone started recording on their phone. I felt Haley tense beside me, but I gently touched her arm and nodded. It was fine. Kayla walked straight up to me, her expression shifting from fake calm to desperate wide-eyed drama like someone had flipped a switch. "Can we please talk?" she asked. "Just you and me. 5 minutes. Please." I looked at her. I didn't say anything at first. Just let the silence sit. Then, calmly, I said, "You said I was the bare minimum, Kayla. I believed you. So I left. I've been doing great ever since. Please don't embarrass yourself more than you already have." You could hear a pin drop. Her face crumpled like she'd been slapped. "You think you're better than me now?" she spat, loud enough for everyone to hear. "No," I said. "I just know what I deserve. And it's not this." She stood there trembling. Then she did what she always did when she lost control. She tried to hurt someone. "She's not even that pretty," she snapped, gesturing at Haley. That was it. Alicia stepped in and physically blocked her. "You need to go? Now." Kayla stormed out, but not before someone in the back said, "This is so sad, bro," loud enough for everyone to hear. The door closed behind her. And just like that, the oxygen came back into the room. Nobody even asked me what that was about. They already knew. The next day, I got one final email. Subject, "Just wanted to say I'm sorry. I know you probably won't answer this. I get it. I messed up. I pushed away the only person who ever actually cared about me. Everyone else just wanted something from me. Clout, looks, sex. You didn't. And I spit in your face for it. I hope you're happy. I really do." "I'm not." I didn't respond. Not because I was trying to be cold, but because I didn't owe her a reaction anymore. Not even a goodbye. Sometimes the best closure is no closure. Just moving on so far they can't even see you anymore. Haley and I, we're not rushing anything. She doesn't expect grand gestures. She notices when I'm tired. She thanks me when I fix something around her place. She doesn't call it the bare minimum. She calls it love. Funny how the same actions can feel like servitude to one woman and like devotion to another. I look back sometimes, not out of regret, but out of relief. Because if Kayla hadn't said what she said, if she hadn't mocked my effort, laughed at my loyalty, disrespected the very foundation of love, I might have stayed. I might have kept giving and giving, thinking it was noble. But I walked away, and now I know what peace feels like. It's quiet, simple, the opposite of her. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.